What to Play presents 15 of the best Switch titles during the first half of 2021, all arranged by PlayScores. To check out our full list, visit our website at whattoplay.com. You can also take part in our rankings by leaving reviews of the games that you played.
Enjoy your last moments as a human.
We open our list with Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remastered. Atlus original JRPG series gets the remaster it needs, given that its upcoming SMT5 is nearing its release. Nocturne HD was the reason why Persona existed. If it weren't for the complex demon talking systems SMT introduced, your anime waifus wouldn't exist. Don't think about anything in this game too much though. While the story is impressive, it's basically edgy Pokemon. This remaster was given the polish it deserves and it receives a play score of 8.29. 14. Game Builder Garage. Nintendo seems fed up with people telling them to fix their games, so they probably thought, why not let them make their own games instead? Game Builder Garage is the Switch's version of PlayStation's Dreams. It's a hotbed of creativity where anyone can make their own video games. Some can be impressive, while others can be questionable. Either way, it's not like we can become game devs overnight. It comes with a user-friendly approach where each input feels like it's really helping you, so don't get intimidated with all the developer buzzwords. You'll make your own game in no time. It receives a play score of 8.41. At 13th place, Kaze and the Wild Masks. If anyone's looking for a Donkey Kong-like experience on the Switch, Pixel Dive's indie platformer is something you should try. It harkens back to the good old days of 90s gaming with its easy-to-pick-up gameplay. For 30 hours of playtime, you get to feel the nostalgia of the classic titles. Kaze has its own fair share of unique moments, but it's for the players to explore. It receives a play score of 8.43.
We are the Phantom Thieves, and all those desires you stole.
We're taking them all back.
At 12, Persona 5 Strikers. Joker and the Gang's return wasn't something we expected, but hey, if you're a fan of Persona 5, this is a must-buy. In Strikers, Koei Tecmo decided to let go of the turn-based drama from the original and transform the Phantom Thieves' journey into a Musou-style game. The combat remains flashy and energetic, but now it's also fast-paced and it demands more button pressing. While it's a great game, it didn't quite hit the mark of its original. The absence of its dating sim mechanic impacted its overall play score of 8.45. Now this is no dating sim, but you will get to connect with us and our wider community. Click the join button below. At 11th place, Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville Complete Edition. PopCap series has come a long way. The perpetual battle between the plants and zombies evolves into a PvE experience. It's far removed from the usual tower defense gameplay of the original, or the third-person competitiveness of Garden Warfare. If you find its offline mode interesting, you can try to find games in its online multiplayer. Good luck finding a game though, as the player numbers have dwindled over time. A play score of 8.47. At 10th place, Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. Who would have thought we get to see Kingdoms of Amalur playable on the Switch? This classic action RPG was once the talk of the town in 2012. Creating a character and watching it tear down enemies at blistering speeds is still as satisfying as ever. Re-Reckoning adds a touch of visual upgrades to this dark fantasy world. Not only that, but it also fixes most of the issues that plagued the original. It's still a re-release, so don't get your hopes up on new content. It may not be the best compared to current games on the market, but it was ahead of its time. A play score of 8.53.
You are finished, Hero of Light.
I am a hero of light, no longer.
9th place, Bravely Default 2. The latest from Square Enix's classic JRPGs. Newcomers to the series might find this to be the perfect starting point for the series. Fans have been waiting for this game since time immemorial. Its strategic Brave and Default combat is back, and it's made even better, making each encounter feel rewarding. It didn't really introduce anything new to the table, which is evident in some of its ratings. If you're interested in the same story quality as its previous titles, you may be disappointed by how mediocre this one is in comparison. Don't worry though, it's not a bad game either, receiving a play score of 8.64. At 8th place, Atelier Ryza 2: Lost Legends and the Secret Fairy. Taking place years after the events of the first game, we once again follow Ryza as she embarks on an alchemical adventure full of wonders and mystery. As a JRPG, it's more than just pretty anime characters. The series staple, synthesis, is still around. Crafting and synthesizing have been streamlined, but it's still complex for new players. The mechanic gives more room for players to experiment. That means grinding resources through dungeon crawling is recommended. It receives a play score of 8.64.
Together we shall write the end to this wretched fairy tale. Now, Rean, let us begin.
At 7th place, The Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel 4. The Trails games have been celebrated for their fantastic stories and great characters. This final chapter is a culmination of the series, and it ends the Cold Steel saga with a bang. It features the biggest playable roster, including characters from previous Trails games. As a JRPG, it has over 100 hours of content, and what's not to love about that? In other news, it looks like we'll be seeing more Trails games in the future, with the supposed leak from Epic. Cold Steel 4 receives a play score of 8.67. Coming in at 6th, New Pokemon Snap. This new take on Nintendo's 1999 classic takes players into new territory in search of more Pokemon to capture. And by capture, we mean taking their pictures and storing them in the compendium. There's not much gameplay here, it's just you documenting their ecological activities with photos. Make sure you get those angles right, otherwise you'll miss out on points. For a $60 game, it might intimidate non-Pokemon fans, but it's safe to say that anyone obsessed with these monsters has definitely bought it. A play score of 8.71.
Crash! Wake up!
At 5th place, Crash Bandicoot 4: It's About Time. It's weird to see Crash on a Nintendo platform, but here we are. This crazy Bandicoot takes us on a time-bending adventure to stop Dr. Neo Cortex.
I guess that means I'll have to kill you.
Crash will have newfound abilities at his disposal, and he's not the only playable character around. As a platformer, expect it to be challenging, but not as frustrating as the previous entries. It receives a play score of 8.74. At 4th place, Little Nightmares 2. The nightmare continues in this horror platformer from Tarsier Studios. The sequel didn't bring anything new to the table, but it still creeps the hell out of us with its unique monster designs. What it lacks in innovation makes up for its impressive world building. The world of Little Nightmares 2 is brimming with an atmosphere that feels like it's a character of its own. It receives a play score of 8.74. At 3rd place, Overcooked All You Can Eat. The chaotic culinary challenges of all Overcooked titles, including its DLCs, are available in one mega pack. Team 17's beloved party game invites up to 4 players into a torture chamber of slicing, mincing, and serving. It's the perfect party game for the Switch this year. With just one purchase, you can enjoy everything Overcooked has to offer and play it with your friends. It receives a play score of 8.78.
We're here to offer assistance. We must stop the calamity!
At 2nd place, Monster Hunter Rise. Capcom's best-selling game this year has sold more than 7 million copies on Switch alone. This latest monster hunting craze offers more than just new monsters. The addition of the Wirebug brought in more mobility and skill to your selection of 14 weapons. To this day, it still gets support via event quests. The latest 3.0 update introduces the jet-powered Valstrax to cart new and old players. Let's hope for more monsters in the future. It receives a play score of 9.16. And at the top spot, Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. A Wii U classic makes its way to the Switch. This re-release is a celebration of all the great things the series has to offer, including a special campaign called Bowser's Fury that's sure to satisfy longtime fans. This theme park-like adventure is considered the Switch's best so far this year. It includes online multiplayer and a 4-player co-op.
Where is? Oh, there he is.
Careful, careful. Oh my gosh.
Okay, here we go.
There's a huge amount of content here, and any Mario fan will definitely find this worth the investment. A play score of 9.34.